Israel's main newspaper, Haaretz, that has an editorial entitled Our Debt to Jimmy Carter. And what does Israel's most influential newspaper say? It's editorial. But Israelis have not liked Carter since he wrote the book, Palestine, Peace, Not Apartheid. Israel is not ready for such comparisons, even though the situation begs it. The situation begs it. And that gives you an interesting example, comparison of the never-never fantasy land of the United States as against everywhere else in the world. Israel's most influential paper, it begs the comparison. And the United States, it becomes the object of this huge hysteria. Will he take out the word apartheid from the title? And to his credit, he said, no. Sorry, last two quick questions. I have enough pieces of paper here now for a bonfire.
With respect to Hezbollah, in a January 2008 interview, you said that Israel needs to suffer a big defeat for peace talks to occur. How big of a defeat in terms of casualties and destruction would you say?
Well,
and another question, did you attend the Holocaust denial conference in Iran?
no. Is that the point of that answer?
No.
Well, that's a question like, when did you stop beating your wife? You know full well I didn't attend the conference. You know it full well. The only reason you asked the question was to plant that idea in the audience's mind. You know I didn't attend. It's a filthy comical question to ask me. It's a filthy question to ask me. I'm sorry, young man. You know full well my late parents were in the Nazi Holocaust. You know full well they were in the concentration camps. You know full well my family was exterminated during the war. To ask that question of me is filthy, and I'm going to say it straight to your face. Now, in answer to the first serious question, yes, I did say that Israel needs to suffer a major defeat. If you ask me what kind of defeat, well, I'll give you a simple answer. You read Martin Van Krevel, one of Israel's leading military authorities. He says Israel is a more militarized state than Germany was between 1871, that's under the era of Bismarck, till 1945. That's through the Nazi era. Israel is a more militarized state. And in my view, Israel needs to suffer a defeat just like the Germans and the Japanese suffered during World War II to finally shake it up and bring it back to its senses. It is carrying on like a marauding state, a vandal state. These are not words. It's not rhetoric. Look yourself at the record. Last year, the National Intelligence Estimate came out with the conclusion that Iran was no longer involved in a program to develop nuclear weapons. Every country in the world, all the people of the world, including an overwhelming majority of Americans, sighed a breath of relief. There's not going to be a war with Iran. Every country in the world except Israel, where both the government and overwhelmingly the population were pushing for a war with Iran. That's a problem. It's become a lunatic state. And I don't say that with any kind of gratification or happiness, because among other things, I think its lunacy is going to lead inexorably to its destruction. And I don't see any virtue in that. I don't see any reason to be happy about that. the destruction of any country, the destruction of any people, is something that we should all recoil at and look at with horror. But that's the direction it's going. It's a very odd thing, but it's probably true. But the best thing that that happened to Germany was that defeat it suffered in 1945. It became a normal country. The most peace-loving, the most morally serious, the most decent of all Europeans are clearly the Germans. That defeat shook up the society. I think it was a good thing. And frankly, I think it would be a good thing for Israel if it too suffered a devastating defeat. That's correct.
Yeah, as Israeli, first of all, I'm very proud that all your quotes come from Haaretz, B'Tselem. That's the only country in the Middle East you have free press and civil rights organization. You can agree. Yes. Second of all, earlier this year, in an interview for the Lebanese television, he said that Israel planned the Second Lebanon War. As a soldier in the war, I can tell you that the arsenals were empty. We didn't train for the last 6 years, and the units in the north were reserve army units. I want to know from where did you got that information that the IDF was planning for the war? Because all over the internet in Hebrew, if you read Hebrew, you're going to hear this latest morning of people saying that the war was a collapse and a failure, and they were not planning.